Listen closely. You think you're immune. You believe the liquidation event is something that happens to other people. Bad luck, poor choices, ignorance. You're wrong. It's coming for you. Maybe it's already here. Liquidation. It's not just bankruptcy, it's the erosion of your soul, chipped away bit by bit until you're left with nothing but a husk. It's the slow bleed of potential, the crushing weight of obligations you can't possibly fulfill. It's the silent scream of realizing you've been sold a lie of meritocracy, a lie of control. Debt isn't just numbers on a screen, it's a predator. It stalks you, it feeds on your ambition, your hope, your very life force. It promises freedom, then chains you to a future defined by its insatiable hunger. Look around. How many people do you know genuinely free? Free from the suffocating anxiety of the next bill, the next payment, the next economic downturn that threatens to topple their carefully constructed facade? Diagnosis. That's what you need. A brutally honest assessment of your situation. Strip away the comforting narratives, the optimistic projections, the bullshit. See the raw, ugly truth. Are you truly building wealth, or are you simply treading water, perpetually one missed paycheck away from disaster? Are you investing in yourself, or are you merely consuming distractions to numb the pain of your pre-programmed existence? This isn't a motivational speech, this is a warning, a call to arms. I'm not here to sell you a get-rich-quick scheme, I'm here to offer you a path to survival. A path that demands ruthless self-awareness, unwavering discipline, and a complete rejection of the status quo. We're going to dissect the financial system, expose its vulnerabilities, and equip you with the knowledge to exploit them. We'll analyze the psychological traps that keep you enslaved to debt and consumption. We'll explore alternative strategies for building wealth, protecting your assets, and securing your future. This will be uncomfortable. It will challenge your beliefs. It will force you to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself and the world around you. But if you're ready to face reality, if you're willing to fight for your freedom, then I make you this pledge. I will provide you with the tools you need to survive the coming liquidation event. I will arm you with the knowledge to reclaim your life. I will show you how to thrive, even as the system crumbles around you. But you have to be willing to look, really look. And then you have to be willing to act. You think you understand your own life? You think you are profitable because you had one good day? Wrong. You are barely treading water. We start with the raw data, the naked truth of your calendar. Forget your intentions. Forget what you planned to do. We are auditing your history of execution. The audit. Look at your last 30 days. Export the data of your life. What is your win rate? How many mornings did you wake up on time versus how many times did you hit snooze? That is your P&L, profit and loss. Where is the slippage? That 10 minutes you spent scrolling before getting out of bed. That is a transaction cost. That is poor execution eroding your edge. You are bleeding capital not in dollars but in minutes. Calculate your expectancy. If you continue living exactly as you did for the last 30 days, are you bankrupt in 5 years? The numbers don't lie. Until you chart the flow of your energy, you are trading your life blind. We have identified the debt. Now we quantify the exposure. In risk management, exposure is the amount of capital you stand to lose if a single threat materializes. Look at your life. You are running an unsecured operation. You grant access to everyone. You broadcast your plans to people who secretly want you to fail. You give your energy to parasites disguised as friends. This is a security flaw. The audit. Where are the breaches in your perimeter? Every secret you tell a weak man is a liability. Every time you lose your temper in public, you expose your reputation to volatility. You are leaking leverage. You need to calculate the cost of a breach. If your emotions are easily hacked by a traffic jam or a rude comment, your defense systems are non-existent. You are soft targets. The law of reconstruction requires a closed loop. Revoke access. Audit your circle. Who has clearance to your mind? If they do not bring value, they are a security risk. Close the ports, seal the cracks. If you do not secure the asset, you do not own it. Begin monologue. We're done with the awareness, the bullshit platitudes. Now comes the surgical removal. We're entering phase 2, cutting liabilities. Think of yourself as a corporation bleeding capital. Your dopamine system is the treasury, and right now, it's hemorrhaging. You want to fix it? Stop feeding the beast. This isn't about moderation. Moderation is for amateurs. This is about absolute cessation, cold turkey. Rip off the bandage and endure the scream. Identify your dopamine liabilities. It's a brutal inventory. Social media, gone. Pornography, incinerated, junk food, extinguished, games, mindless entertainment, instant gratification of any kind, liquidation. Don't tell me about balance. Balance is a lie sold to you by the very systems that want you hooked. You're not aiming for equilibrium. You're aiming for a deficit, a deliberate, agonizing dopamine drought. This is the desert you must cross to reach the oasis. Why? Because your receptors are screaming. They're overloaded, desensitized. They're demanding ever-increasing doses for a diminishing return. You're chasing a ghost, a synthetic high that leaves you hollow and craving more. We need to reset the baseline, lower the tolerance. This isn't comfortable. Expect withdrawal, expect irritability, boredom, anhedonia. Expect your mind to concoct elaborate justifications for relapse. This is the enemy fighting back. This is the addiction clinging to its life. But understand this: the pain is temporary. The clarity that follows is permanent. Your brain will adapt. Your receptors will become sensitive again. You will rediscover the pleasure in simple things, the reward in genuine effort. The first week will be hell. The second week, less so. The third week, you'll begin to see the world with new eyes, eyes that haven't been blurred by the constant bombardment of dopamine, eyes that are actually capable of appreciating the beauty and challenge of reality. So cut the liabilities, sever the ties, endure the pain. The reward is worth it. The reward is you. End monologue. All right, so you've identified the cancer. Phase 1 is complete. Now, we excise. This is phase 2, cutting liabilities. Specifically, the liabilities posing as distraction contracts. These aren't just bad deals, they're energy vampires sucking the lifeblood from your core objective. Let's be blunt. Sentimentality is a luxury you can't afford. Promises made in weakness are promises best broken. That sounds harsh, doesn't it? Good. It is harsh. The world is harsh. Your competitors will show you no mercy. Neither should you. Examine every single contract, every agreement, every handshake deal, quantify its impact. Not just financially, but in terms of time wasted, opportunities missed, and mental bandwidth consumed. If it isn't directly contributing to your ultimate goal, it's a distraction. Categorize them. Easily severed, costly but necessary, and seemingly unbreakable. The easily severed are low-hanging fruit. Termination clauses are your best friends. Read them, understand them, exploit them. Negotiate, but negotiate from a position of strength. Offer a token gesture, a severance package, but keep it minimal. The goal is to minimize the bleed. The costly but necessary require more surgical precision. Calculate the cost of breaking the contract versus the cost of maintaining it over its lifespan. Factor in the opportunity cost. What could you be doing with that money, that time, that energy? If breaking the contract, even with penalties, is the better long-term play, then break it. Eat the short-term pain for long-term gain. Finally, the seemingly unbreakable. These are the ones that test your resolve. Lawyers, negotiation, leverage, find a loophole, exploit a weakness, offer a better deal to a competitor. Whatever it takes, disengage. These are often the most draining, requiring strategic thinking and a willingness to fight. Be prepared to burn bridges. Some bridges deserve to be burned. Remember this. Distraction contracts are like barnacles on a ship. They slow you down, make you vulnerable. Cutting them loose is painful, messy work. But it's essential for speed, efficiency, and survival. You are building an empire, not a charity. Act accordingly. The edict of calculated ruin, foundational bankruptcy. You came seeking secrets. You came seeking power. Let's dispense with the charade. There is only one true power, the ability to deconstruct. To understand, to build anew, you must first be capable of absolute demolition. Not impulsive rage, but cold, calculated ruin. This is the first edict, foundational bankruptcy. Understand this. Everything you believe, everything you cherish, every ideal you hold dear is, at its core, built on sand. Societal constructs, moral frameworks, even your own identity, all susceptible to entropy, decay, and manipulation. Embrace this truth. It is not cynical, it is brutally honest. It is the bedrock upon which real power is forged. We begin by acknowledging the illusion of inherent worth. The value systems you adhere to are not divinely ordained. They are the product of historical accident, cultural conditioning, and deliberate propaganda. Think about justice. What is just? What is fair? These concepts are fluid, manipulated by those in power to serve their own ends. Law is not morality, it is codified force. Realize this, and you begin to see the cracks in the foundation. Examine your personal values. Are they truly yours, or are they echoes of your parents, your peers, your society? Are you living a life of authentic purpose, or are you merely fulfilling pre-programmed roles? The answer, more often than not, will be unsettling, but discomfort is the price of enlightenment. The process is not comfortable. It requires a ruthless self-assessment. Question everything. Dissect every belief. Challenge every assumption. Do not flinch from the uncomfortable truths you uncover. The more you cling to these illusions, the weaker you become. Now consider the institutions you trust. Government, religion, education, the media. All are inherently flawed, riddled with corruption and driven by self-preservation. They are not designed to serve you. They are designed to control you. See them for what they are: complex mechanisms of power, fueled by deception and sustained by ignorance. This is not to advocate for nihilism. It is a call to clarity. Understanding the flaws of the system is the first step to transcending them. Only by recognizing the inherent instability of the existing order can you begin to construct something more resilient, more authentic. The first step in calculated ruin is detachment. Detachment from sentimentality, detachment from dogma, detachment from the narratives that bind you. This does not mean becoming emotionless. It means mastering your emotions, using them as tools rather than being controlled by them. You must be willing to sacrifice everything. Every comfort, every belief, every relationship, not impulsively but strategically. Know what you are giving up and know why. Every sacrifice must serve a higher purpose. Recognize the power of perception. Reality is subjective, molded by individual experience and manipulated by external forces. Learn to control your own perception, and you will begin to control your reality. This requires discipline, focus, and a willingness to confront your own biases. Accept the inevitability of failure. Every endeavor, no matter how meticulously planned, is subject to unforeseen circumstances and human error. Do not be discouraged by setbacks. Learn from your mistakes, adapt your strategies, and continue to move forward. The goal is not simply to destroy for the sake of destruction. It is to clear the ground, to expose the underlying structures, to understand the weaknesses, and to build a foundation that is truly strong. One built on truth, not illusion. One built on calculated action, not blind faith. This foundational bankruptcy, this calculated ruin, is the necessary prelude to genuine creation. Only when you have dismantled the old can you truly build the new. And that is when true power begins. So begin, deconstruct, question, rebuild, or remain a slave to the illusions. The choice ultimately is yours. 2. The axiom of asset stripping. Salvage before collapse. Look at me. Look closely. Because the comfortable lies you've been spoon-fed are about to dissolve. This isn't a motivational seminar. This is survival. Welcome to the laws of reconstruction. And today we dissect a bitter truth. The axiom of asset stripping. Salvage before collapse. It's a simple principle, brutally effective and morally ambiguous as hell. Understand it, master it, and you might just weather the coming storm. Ignore it, and you'll be swept away by the inevitable tide. Asset stripping. The words themselves conjure images of corporate raiders, vultures picking the carcass of a failing entity. And that perception isn't entirely wrong. But it's incomplete. It's limited. We're not talking solely about tearing apart businesses for profit. We're talking about a fundamental mindset, a desperate calculus. The understanding that when collapse is inevitable, preserving something is better than losing everything. Think of a building about to be demolished. Before the wrecking ball swings, what happens? The valuable materials are stripped, the copper pipes, the antique fixtures, the salvageable timber. Why? Because inherent value remains even in a doomed structure. Now apply that to your own life, your career, your relationships, your very existence. Are you clinging to a sinking ship? Are you desperately trying to resuscitate something that is fundamentally broken beyond repair? Are you pouring resources, emotional energy, financial capital into a lost cause? That's the definition of insanity, repeating the same failed action, expecting a different result. The axiom demands a cold, hard assessment. Identify what is truly valuable within the failing structure, what can be extracted, preserved, repurposed before the whole thing crumbles to dust. This isn't about being callous, it's about being realistic. Sentimentality is a luxury you can't afford. Every resource you waste on a lost cause is a resource you could be investing in something new, something viable, something with a future. Let's be concrete. A failing business? Don't blindly throw good money after bad. Identify the valuable assets, the customer list, the specialized equipment, the intellectual property, the key personnel. Salvage them, sell them, repurpose them into a new venture. Don't let them all be lost in bankruptcy. A toxic relationship? Don't cling to the fading embers of what once was. Identify what you've learned, the skills you've developed, the self-awareness you've gained. Extract those lessons. Protect your mental and emotional well-being, salvage yourself, and move on. A dead-end career? Don't remain trapped in a job you hate, waiting for a promotion that will never come. Identify the skills you've acquired, the contacts you've made, the experience you've gained. Salvage that knowledge, repurpose it, build a bridge to a new path, a new opportunity. This isn't about being opportunistic, it's about being proactive, about recognizing the signs of inevitable collapse and taking decisive action to mitigate the damage. It requires courage, the courage to admit defeat, the courage to walk away, the courage to prioritize survival over sentiment. It demands ruthless honesty. Are you truly salvaging, or are you just delaying the inevitable? Are you clinging to hope, or are you acting out of fear? The axiom of asset stripping is not a comfortable principle. It's a harsh reality, but it's a necessary one. Because in a world of constant change and relentless pressure, the ability to salvage value from failing systems is the key to resilience. It's the difference between drowning and staying afloat. It's the foundation for reconstruction. So strip your emotions, strip your illusions, and start salvaging. The collapse is coming. Are you ready? 3. The theorem of controlled demolition, deconstruction as blueprint, the laws of reconstruction. Listen carefully. This isn't about pretty words. This is about survival. And survival demands precision, understanding the mechanics of collapse before you even think about building anew. You are standing amidst the ruins. Perhaps they are the ruins of your life, your career, your relationships. Perhaps they are the ruins of an ideology, a belief system that has betrayed you. Doesn't matter. What matters is you understand the fundamental principle. You cannot build on weakness. You must excavate to bedrock. Controlled demolition isn't just blowing things up. It's strategic fracturing. It's understanding the stress points, the load-bearing pillars that once compromised trigger a cascading failure. Apply this to your situation. Identify the core beliefs, the foundational principles upon which your current structure, the one that's crumbling, is built. These are your targets. Deconstruction is not destruction for destruction's sake. It's methodical dissection. You must analyze each component, each assumption, each ingrained habit that comprises the failing structure. Scrutinize them without sentiment. Strip away the justifications, the rationalizations, the self-deceptions that have masked the rot. Feel that discomfort? That's the truth biting. Embrace it. Comfort is the enemy. Clarity is the weapon. Consider this. Every structure, whether physical or conceptual, has its weak points. Often they are hidden beneath layers of habit and expectation. Examine your routines. Question your motivations. What are you doing simply because you've always done it that way? What beliefs are you clinging to out of fear, not conviction? These are the cracks. Widen them. The theorem of controlled demolition demands foresight. Before you swing the sledgehammer, you must map the trajectory of the fall. What will be exposed? What hidden truths will be revealed when the facade collapses? Are you prepared for what you might find? This isn't a game, it's a brutal autopsy of your past. You'll find things you don't like. You'll confront ugliness, betrayal, perhaps even your own complicity in the decay. Don't flinch, acknowledge it, integrate it, use it as fuel. Once the structure is reduced to its component parts, the real work begins. The sorting, The sifting. Identify the materials that can be salvaged, repurposed. Discard the rest without hesitation. Sentimentality is a liability. This is where the blueprint emerges. The blueprint of your new self, your new life, your new belief system. It is not a recreation of the old, it is a reinvention, informed by the lessons learned from the wreckage. The laws of reconstruction demand vigilance. You must continuously monitor the new foundations for signs of weakness, for subtle shifts in the terrain that could compromise the structure's integrity. This is a lifelong process. Don't expect gratitude. The comfortable will resent your refusal to remain buried in the ruins. They will label you a heretic, a destroyer. Ignore them. Their comfort is built on a foundation of lies. Yours will be built on truth. Finally, remember this. The act of demolition, however controlled, is inherently dangerous. There will be dust. There will be noise. There will be moments of intense uncertainty. But in the aftermath, amidst the cleared ground, you will find the space to build something stronger, something truer, something that reflects the brutal clarity of your own hard-won wisdom. Build wisely, build deliberately, build to endure, because the next storm is always coming. And this time, you will be ready. Lights dim to a stark single spotlight. The presenter, dressed in simple, dark clothing, stares directly at you, the viewer. I-4, the statute of debt forgiveness and imprisonment. You've survived. The old world crumbled. Now the reconstruction begins. But understand this. Rebuilding isn't about restoring what was. It's about forging what must be. And at the heart of that forge is the statute of debt. Forget romantic notions. Forgiveness isn't divine, it's strategic. A total and absolute erasure of debt across the board seems humane, noble even. A fresh start for everyone, a clean slate. Don't be a fool, such a gesture is a weapon. In the hands of the weak, it breeds complacency. In the hands of the corrupt, it's a license to pillage again. Debt serves a purpose. It's a shackle, yes, but also a motivator, a consequence, a tangible link to responsibility. So the statute isn't about universal forgiveness. It's about selective application. It is a tool of control, of consolidation, of rebuilding society in our image. First, the forgivable debts. These are strategic. Debts held by individuals deemed essential to the reconstruction. Farmers who can feed, engineers who can rebuild, medics who can heal. Their burdens are lifted not out of altruism, but out of necessity. Think of it as an investment, not a gift. You are buying their loyalty, their productivity, their willingness to rebuild our society. Conditional, always. Their debt is wiped clean as long as they fulfill their designated role. Failure, recidivism, the debt returns, multiplied, with interest levied in labor, then the unforgivable debts. These are debts accrued through exploitation, greed, or actions detrimental to the collective good. Profiteers who hoarded resources, collaborators who aided the enemy, rioters who destabilized the fragile order. Their debts remain. But here's the key. They are transferable to the state. These debts are now tools, leverage. The state can demand labor, loyalty, compliance. It can break individuals, families, entire communities. The debt becomes an instrument of subjugation, ensuring that dissent is silenced and order is maintained. And then there is imprisonment. Understand this. Imprisonment isn't merely about punishment, it's about resource management. A prison is a concentrated labor camp, a source of raw materials extracted directly from the flesh and sweat of the condemned. Debts that cannot be paid in coin are paid in service: mining, construction, sanitation. The prisoners are not simply being punished, they are being utilized, recycled. The length of imprisonment is not determined by the severity of the crime, but by the value of the labor that can be extracted. A skilled craftsman might earn his freedom sooner than a looter because his skills are more valuable to the reconstruction effort. This is not justice, this is efficiency. Consider the ethics, you say? There are none, not anymore. The old morality is a luxury we can no longer afford. Survival demands pragmatism. We must be ruthless in our application of the statute. Compassion is a weakness that will be exploited. This isn't about revenge, it's about rebuilding, about control, about ensuring that the mistakes of the past are not repeated. Debt, carefully managed, becomes the foundation of a new social order. An order built on accountability, consequence, and above all, absolute obedience. The statute of debt. Forgiveness and imprisonment. It is not a law of mercy, it is a weapon. Wield it wisely, or be crushed beneath its weight. Remember this: the only way to truly avoid debt is to become invaluable, to make yourself essential, to become the architect, not the brick. Your survival depends on it. The light fades to black. V, the law of diligence and dispossession. Claiming vacancy. Listen closely. Forget the sentimental garbage you've been fed. We are not playing games. This is about survival, expansion, and the raw, unapologetic acquisition of what is yours for the taking. This is about understanding the law of diligence and dispossession, a cornerstone of reconstruction. Vacancy is opportunity. Understand that simple truth. The world is littered with it. Abandoned land, empty buildings, forgotten resources. These voids are not inherently valuable, but they possess the potential to be molded, to be weaponized. This is where diligence comes in. Diligence is not just hard work. It's a strategic, relentless application of focused effort. It means being observant. It means seeing what others overlook, what they dismiss as useless or too troublesome. It means identifying the vacancy, assessing its potential, and meticulously planning its capture. Don't be naive. Claiming vacancy is not a passive process. It's a declaration of intent, backed by the force of action. The legalities are secondary. Laws are tools, to be manipulated, circumvented, or if necessary, ignored. The only law that truly matters is the law of power, and power flows to those who seize it. So, how do you seize? First, know your territory. Understand the land, the resources, the political landscape. Who are the key players? What are their weaknesses? What are their blind spots? Intelligence is your first weapon. Next, identify the vacancy. Look beyond the obvious. Are there abandoned mines filled with untapped resources? Derelict factories that can be repurposed? Vast stretches of land left fallow due to incompetence or misfortune? The more overlooked the vacancy, the less resistance you will face. Then begin your work. Don't broadcast your intentions. Operate in the shadows. Secure your perimeter. Reinforce your claim. This means physical presence, visible improvements, and, if necessary, forceful defense. Planting crops, repairing structures, establishing a working presence. These are all acts of dominion. Dispossession is the inevitable consequence of diligence. It's the natural order. When you claim a vacancy, you are inherently dispossessing someone, something, of its potential. This could be a former owner, a rival faction, or even the apathy of the land itself. Do not hesitate. Sentimentality is a weakness. Empathy is a luxury you cannot afford. If your claim is challenged, meet it with overwhelming force. Make an example. Ensure that others understand the price of defiance. Remember, the law of diligence and dispossession is not about fairness. It's about survival. It's about creating a future for yourself, for your people, by taking what is rightfully yours. Rightfully yours because you have the will, the intelligence, and the power to claim it. Consider this. Legal titles are meaningless without enforcement. A piece of paper won't defend you against a determined enemy. Force does. Control does. Domination does. Secure your claim. Defend it fiercely. And let the screams of the dispossessed serve as a testament to your diligence. This is not a game. This is the reality of reconstruction. Vacancy exists. It is waiting to be claimed. Are you diligent enough to seize it? Are you ruthless enough to dispossess those who stand in your way? The answer to those questions will determine your fate. Now go. Find your vacancy. Claim it. Defend it. Make it your own. The future belongs to those who dare to seize it. Don't let it pass you by. The law of diligence and dispossession waits for no one. Act now. 6. The principle of investment in ash, seeds of the new estate. The screen is black. A single harsh light illuminates a face. It is severe, unsmiling. Listen, you want to rebuild? You crave a new estate? Then understand this. Nothing comes from nothing. And what is broken, shattered, reduced to ash is not valueless. It is, in fact, the foundation. The laws of reconstruction are brutal, yes. Truth is rarely gentle. The first law, and the one most often ignored, is this: invest in the ash. What does this mean? It means acknowledging the ruins, not prettifying them, not whitewashing the past, not pretending the fire never happened. The fire did happen. It consumed everything you thought you knew, everything you thought you owned, everything you thought you were. Accept it. That ash, that residue of destruction. It contains the concentrated essence of what failed. Every flaw, every weakness, every rot that led to the inferno. It's painful to examine. It's easier to look away, easier to dream of pristine marble and untouched soil. But those dreams are lies. They are the siren songs that will lead you back to the same precipice. You must sift through the ash, methodically, ruthlessly. Identify the combustibles, the faulty wiring, the rotten timbers, the arrogance that allowed the flames to spread. Every single element that contributed to the collapse must be identified, cataloged, and understood. This is not an exercise in blame. Blame is a comfort blanket for the weak. This is about cold, hard data. This is about forensic accounting of the soul, your soul, the soul of your endeavors, the soul of your ambitions. Once you have identified the weaknesses, you must then understand their inversions. What safeguards could have prevented the fire? What structural integrity was lacking? What early warning signs were ignored? This is where the investment begins. Investing in the ash means dedicating resources, time, energy, intellect to fortifying those weaknesses. It means building fire breaks where there were none before. It means replacing rotten timbers with steel. It means installing early warning systems that will not be ignored, even when you're tired, even when you're complacent. This is not a one-time exercise. This is a continuous process. Constant vigilance, constant self-assessment. The ash will never completely disappear. It will always be there, a reminder of what was lost, a warning of what could be again. Think of it like this. A farmer does not discard the burned husks of his failed crops. He analyzes the soil, he identifies the deficiencies, he amends the soil with nutrients, he rotates crops to prevent future infestations. He invests in the ash, in the lessons learned from failure to ensure a more bountiful harvest next season. The same principle applies to every aspect of reconstruction. Relationships shattered. Analyze the toxic patterns. Business ventures collapsed. Dissect the faulty strategies. Personal ambitions thwarted. Confront the self-sabotaging behaviors. The ash is not just debris, it's data, it's potential, it's the raw material for a stronger, more resilient future. But only if you are willing to invest. Do not romanticize the past. Do not fear the future. Focus on the present and invest in the lessons that the ash provides. This is the only way to build a lasting estate. This is the only way to truly rebuild. Now, go and sift. The work will not do itself, and remember, the richest soil is always nourished by the deepest losses. 7. The mandate of austerity, fortifying the inner citadel. Listen, I don't deal in comfort, I deal in survival. You seek strength, then bleed for it. You crave mastery, then sacrifice everything for it. What follows is not a guide, it is a crucible, a trial by fire. You will either emerge tempered steel or shatter into dust. We live in an age of grotesque indulgence. A sickness of excess. Softness is celebrated. Weakness is nurtured. This is the path to oblivion. Your inner citadel, the bastion of your will, has been infiltrated, infested with comfort, riddled with self-pity. It needs to be purged, cleansed with the fire of austerity. The laws of reconstruction are not suggestions. They are imperatives. Fail to adhere and you will be consumed. Law 1. Ruthless self-assessment. Look inward and do not flinch from what you see. Every insecurity, every flaw, every weakness, catalog them. Understand them. They are vulnerabilities, points of entry for the enemy. Your enemy is not the world. Your enemy is yourself. Until you conquer yourself, you are already defeated. Write down your limitations. Confront them daily. Do not rationalize. Do not excuse. Diagnose, then dismantle. Law 2. Radical simplification. Cut away the excess. Every distraction, every indulgence, every unnecessary comfort. Strip your life down to the essentials. Food, shelter, purpose. Anything beyond that is a liability. Entertainment is a drug. Social media is a plague. Luxury is a poison. Focus, prioritize, eliminate. A lean existence breeds a fierce mind. A cluttered life breeds a scattered one. Law 3. Disciplined action. Ideas are worthless without execution. Words are empty without action. Define your goals, break them down into manageable steps, then act every day. No excuses, no delays. The world rewards action, not intention. Procrastination is the thief of potential. Laziness is the grave of ambition. Build momentum, maintain it, never stop moving forward. Law 4. Embrace discomfort. Seek out challenges. Force yourself beyond your limits. Physical discomfort, mental discomfort, emotional discomfort. These are the proving grounds of character. Every time you overcome a challenge, you grow stronger. Every time you avoid discomfort, you grow weaker. Push yourself until you break, then rebuild yourself stronger than before. Law 5. Unwavering focus. The world is a constant barrage of distractions. Learn to filter them out. Train your mind to concentrate. Develop unwavering focus. Shut out the noise. Silence the chatter. The ability to focus is the key to achieving anything of significance. Meditate. Train your mind. Practice mindfulness. Become a master of your attention. Law 6. Strategic solitude. Withdraw from the world. Spend time alone. Reflect. Meditate. Connect with your inner self. The world is a corrupting influence. It pollutes your mind. It drains your energy. Solitude is a sanctuary, a place to recharge, a place to reconnect with your purpose. Use it wisely. Law 7. Perpetual learning. Never stop learning. The world is constantly changing. Adapt or die. Read, study, observe. Seek out knowledge. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from the successes of others. The pursuit of knowledge is a lifelong journey. Embrace it. This is not easy. It is brutal. It is unforgiving. But it is necessary. If you are serious about building an inner citadel, then you must embrace the mandate of austerity. Fortify yourself. Sharpen your mind. Harden your resolve. The world is waiting to test you. Be ready. Be strong. Be unbreakable. Now go. Put these laws into practice, or continue your descent into irrelevance. The choice, as always, is yours. But choose wisely, for the stakes are higher than you can possibly imagine. 8th, the doctrine of eternal vigilance, guarding the newly forged. You've spilled the blood, broken the foundations, and rebuilt. Congratulations! You are now officially at the most perilous stage. The euphoria of victory is a dangerous opiate. It lulls the senses, blunts the reflexes, and opens you to a wound that will fester and rot everything you fought to create. This isn't a finish line. It's the starting point of a different kind of war. Consider the blacksmith. He hammers and shapes the molten metal, quenching it, tempering it, until it takes the form he desires. But the process doesn't end there. Exposure to the elements, the stress of its intended use, these are all threats that demand constant attention. Untended, the strongest blade will rust, will buckle, will fail. Your new world is no different. It's fragile, it's vulnerable. Its enemies, the ones you defeated and the ones you simply displaced, are not gone. They are merely dormant, regrouping, adapting. They are learning from their failures, and they are waiting for the moment your guard drops. Eternal vigilance is not a suggestion. It is the price of survival. It is the foundation upon which your reconstructed reality will either solidify or crumble into dust. Understand this: the principles that guided you through the initial conflict, the ruthlessness and decisiveness, must now be applied with even greater intensity to the mundane, the administrative, the seemingly insignificant. The laws of reconstruction are not written in ink. They are etched in blood and enforced with iron. Your laws are not just words on parchment. They are living, breathing entities that require constant nourishment and unwavering defense. First, maintain absolute control. Any vacuum you leave, any area of ambiguity will be exploited. Suppress dissent swiftly and decisively. Do not tolerate opposition, however subtle. Seeds of rebellion are always sown in whispers and grievances. Uproot them before they blossom into open revolt. Compassion is a luxury you cannot afford. Not yet. Second, control the narrative. Truth is malleable. It is a weapon. You dictate the past, present, and future. Rewrite history to serve your purpose. Control the flow of information. Suppress alternative viewpoints. Cultivate unwavering loyalty through propaganda and indoctrination. Those who control the story control the population. Third, solidify your power base. Reward loyalty. Punish treachery. Eliminate potential rivals ruthlessly. Surround yourself with those who are willing to sacrifice everything for your vision. Paranoia is a virtue. Trust no one completely. Even your closest allies are driven by their own ambitions. Fourth, cultivate fear. Fear is a powerful motivator. It ensures compliance. It discourages rebellion. Display your power openly and without remorse. Let your enemies and your subjects alike witness the consequences of defiance. Justice is not about fairness. It is about maintaining order. Fifth, build defenses, internal and external. Fortify your borders. Train your soldiers. Invest in intelligence gathering. Anticipate threats before they materialize. Develop contingency plans for every conceivable scenario. Preparation is the only antidote to panic. Sixth, never become complacent. Victory is not a state of being, it is a continuous process. The moment you believe you have achieved absolute security is the moment you are most vulnerable. Remain vigilant. Remain ruthless. Remain prepared. These are not pleasant truths. They are harsh realities. They are the unvarnished laws of reconstruction. They are the principles that separate those who build lasting empires from those who merely perpetuate chaos. The greatest danger to your newly forged world is not the external enemy. It is internal decay. It is the erosion of resolve, the creeping cynicism, the gradual slide into complacency. It is the seductive whisper that tells you the fighting is over, that you can finally relax. Ignore that voice. It is a lie. The fight never truly ends. It only changes form. The battlefield may shift, the weapons may evolve, but the war for survival is eternal. And in this war, only the vigilant will prevail. Guard your creation. Protect it with every fiber of your being. Eternal vigilance is not just a doctrine. It is a way of life. It is the only way to ensure your legacy. Embrace it or be consumed by the ashes of your own failure. Here's the script. Chapter Title 1. Divesting from the Leviathan. A Portfolio of Independence. Section. The Sovereign Exit. You're here because the illusion has shattered. The machine you thought protected you, nurtured you, is now grinding you down. Welcome to the realization that dependence is death by 1,000 cuts. Your freedom, your very life, hinges on severing these ties. This isn't about patriotism, it's about survival. The sovereign exit begins with a ruthless audit of your dependencies. What systems control you? Employment, banking, healthcare, education. Each tether is a point of vulnerability, a lever the Leviathan uses to manipulate your existence. We dismantle them one by one. First, diversify your income streams. A single job is a chokehold. Build skills that are untethered to a specific location or employer. Learn to generate value independently. Freelancing, consulting, creating digital assets. These are your weapons. Exploit the digital landscape. Become a producer, not just a consumer. Next, reclaim your financial sovereignty. The banking system is a cage. Explore decentralized finance. Understand cryptocurrency, not as a get-rich-quick scheme, but as a tool for circumventing control. Store your wealth in tangible assets, things that cannot be digitally erased or arbitrarily devalued. Silver, gold, land. They are anchors in a storm. Healthcare is a minefield. Invest in preventative care. Learn about alternative therapies. Build a network of practitioners outside the established system. Your body is your temple. Protect it with knowledge, not blind faith in institutions that profit from your sickness. Education, the greatest lie of all. The system churns out compliant cogs, not critical thinkers. Deconstruct its narratives. Learn independently. Seek out mentors who have achieved what you desire. Read voraciously. Question everything. Embrace autodidacticism. Your mind is the battleground. Arm it with truth. This is not a comfortable process. It requires sacrifice, discipline, and a willingness to challenge everything you thought you knew. The Leviathan will fight back, subtly at first, then with increasing force. But your freedom is worth the struggle. This is your portfolio of independence. Build it with vigilance. Defend it with ferocity. Your future depends on it. All right, the final audit. Recalibrating allegiance and claiming residual sovereignty. Listen closely, because I'm only going to say this once. This isn't some new age self-help bullshit. This is about survival in a system actively designed to enslave you. The final audit is about dismantling the architecture of your own captivity. It starts with allegiance. You pledged it, knowingly or not, the moment you were born. To the state, to corporations, to ideologies, these allegiances are debts. Debts that drain your energy, your resources, your very life force. The first step, identify them, every single one. Your job, your political party, your religious affiliation, your family expectations, dissect them. Ask yourself, who benefits from my commitment? Am I receiving equal value, or am I being exploited? Be brutally honest. Sentimentality is a luxury you can no longer afford. Then recalibrate. This doesn't necessarily mean renouncing everything. It means renegotiating the terms. If your job is sucking you dry, find leverage, acquire skills, build alternatives. If your family demands conformity, establish boundaries. Enforce them without apology. If your political party promises utopia but delivers tyranny, defect. Residual sovereignty, that's what we're after. The sliver of autonomy that remains after they've taken everything else. It's not granted, it's claimed. It's forged in the crucible of self-awareness and unwavering action. Claiming it means becoming self-reliant. It means learning practical skills, growing food, generating energy, defending yourself. It means cultivating independent thought, questioning everything, trusting no one implicitly. They want you dependent. They want you scared. They want you compliant. Your sovereignty is your refusal to be any of those things. This process is not comfortable. It's not easy. It's a constant struggle. But the alternative, a life of quiet desperation, a slow, grinding death of the soul, is unacceptable. The final audit isn't about filing paperwork. It's about rewriting your contract with reality. It's about taking back what is rightfully yours, your life, your liberty, and your pursuit of genuine happiness. Now, get to work. Your survival depends on it.